Hi, I'm Phil Constantine, and on today's edition of Travels with Phil, we're going to the movies, but instead of a review, I'm going to give you a recommendation for two movies that came out in 2003. Now, they did fairly well as far as the audience are concerned. Rotten Tomatoes, 84% for Secondhand Lions and 89% for Big Fish. They have some common themes, reality versus a good story. Do you want to tell what really happened, or do you want to tell a story that's interesting to everybody? One of the other themes that comes out is practicality versus fantasy. Which is really something you want to think about in your life? How do you want to deal with things? And then another common theme is doing what's expected of you or being true to yourself. So let's take a look at both of these movies. The first one we're going to look at here is Secondhand Lions. Now, this is the story of a young boy whose mother, well, let's just say she needs to go do something else for a while, so she leaves her young son with his two elderly and very cantankerous uncles.
The last thing we need is some little sissy boy hanging around all summer.
Nice doggy. Go play.
Take him to the orphanage right this minute.
Whether we take him to the orphanage or tie him up and throw him in the lake is our business, not yours.
For Walter, spending the summer with his uncles was the last place he wanted to be.
Gentlemen, do you worry about the future? The Mississippi Mutual Insurance Company.
He was stuck in the middle of nowhere.
You sleep up there. We don't know nothing about kids.
If we kick off in the middle of the night, you're on your own.
With two crazy old men.
There he is!
And nothing to do.
Is it okay if I go inside and watch television?
Ain't got one.
No television?
Hey!
No TV.
But sometimes you can find adventure in the most unlikely places.
They say these two old men got millions stashed away. Nobody knows where they got it. They stole.
They're bank robbers from the 20s and 30s.
You two disappeared for 40 years. Smart were you?
You know what I don't like about house guests? Dinner table chit-chat, chit-chat.
Newline Cinema presents.
Who do you think you are, huh?
𝗑𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗶. I fought in 2 world wars and killed many men and loved only one woman.
Why'd you open it?
Love always holds the bad guys.
Michael Caine.
This is the best idea you ever had.
You bought a used line?
It's defective.
Can I keep it?
Robert Duvall.
Those stories are true, aren't they?
Sometimes the things that may or may not be true are the things that a man needs to believe in the most.
Haley Joel Osment.
If I'm gonna live here, there's gonna be some conditions.
Conditions?
No more dangerous stuff. No fighting teenagers, no airplanes, more vegetables,
Make you live to be 100.
You live to be 100.
less meat.
All right.
Good barbecue.
You expect us to die of old age?
Secondhand Lions. Directed by 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗶𝗀.
And the other movie is Big Fish, the story of a young man who, well, let's just say all his life he's had a problem with his father's tall tales, and he'd really like to know what really went on in his dad's earlier years now that his dad is, well, let's just say on his deathbed. And so he wants to know what really happened. What, get rid of all the tall tales and let's see what the true story is. This is called Big Fish.
In telling the story of my father's life, it's impossible to separate fact from the fiction, the man from the myth. The best I can do is to tell it the way he told me.
If there was one thing you can say about it, 𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗶,
Was that I was intended for larger things. I was the biggest thing Ashton had ever seen.
From the imagination of director Tim Burton.
most men, they'll tell you a story straight through. It won't be complicated, but it won't be interesting either.
Did you ever think that maybe you're not too big, but maybe this town is just too small?
They say when you meet the love of your life, time stops. And that's true. Your mother was never supposed to marry me. She was engaged to somebody else.
Forget it, kid. Don't waste your time. She's out of your league.
You don't even know me.
Sure I do. You were hot stuff back in Hickville. But here in the real world, you got squat.
Now, I may not have much, but I have more determination than any man you're ever likely to meet.
Sandra Templeton, I love you and I will marry you.
I was drying out.
Dad, I have no idea who you are.
What do you want, Will? Who do you want me to be?
Just yourself. Just show me who you are for once.
Discover an adventure as big as life itself.
In telling the story of my father's life,
Bravo Company, go!
doesn't always make sense. But that's what kind of story this is.
Big Fish.
I recommend seeing Secondhand Lions first. It was set, let's just say maybe in the 50s or 60s, somewhere around there. And then I would say watch Big Fish second. Doesn't really matter. They're both available on several different platforms, online and through cable systems like that. So you should be able to find them out there. But you can also rent them in a couple of places, rent them online as well. And I think they're really good movies. I enjoyed them both. And while at first glance they may not seem to be that similar, they do have a lot of similar themes out there. So just keep in mind, don't take either one of these movies seriously. Unless you want to. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please feel free to make comments below as long as the language is family friendly. And if you like this video, please click on the thumbs up button below. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the circle with my picture in it in the lower right-hand corner of the video. The arrow is pointing at it now. And once you have subscribed, you can be notified of when I have a new video posted by clicking on the bell icon in the description field below the video. Thanks again for watching.